Alrighty, let's get down to it. Oh man, what's up guys, this is your boy Fresh Racing here. We're back with another left turn review. Man, I'm sorry I lied. I said I would do a video last week, but you know, shit happens. I got work. I got stuff to do. But I mean, I hate doing these little collab, like, you know, to race or whatever type videos. But I mean, shit. Honestly, I do not regret it again, because I don't have a shitload of stuff to talk about. Because I mean, I do have some good shit to talk about, but not enough to really make a full video on just one race. I'd rather just combine them and, you know, make it better for y'all. So last weekend they were at Charlotte still, you know, they had to do the Coke 600 and the Xfinity race. The Xfinity race was, I mean, it was okay. It was, once again, another Cup guy show. I mean, I guess you could say, because Harvick ended up dominating the first stage. Blaney won the second stage. I remember a lot of people ended up, you know, blowing tires and hitting the wall, shit like that. I don't know. It was an okay race, like I said. I remember Bubba Wallace ended up showing a lot of strength in that race, but he ended up getting a bad pit stop and ended up blowing a tire. And I don't know, it was just, other than that, I mean, I think, oh yeah, Elliott Sadler ended up hitting the wall pretty damn hard. Yeah, there's a clip of that.
And then that put the 42 of Tyler Reddick right on him. Maybe a little bit of contact there.
You know, sometimes you don't even need contact. I don't even know if he hit him. It's just when they're that close to you, it takes the air off the rear of your car and around you go.
Oh, great job by Ryan Sieg in that 39 car to get by without running into Sadler, but then inside wall, hard contact.
So after that, basically the Cup guys just fucking dominated, you know, 19 to go, and Blaney wins it, Harvick got second, and Austin Dillon got third. What do you know?
The 12 is on point as they come off of turn 4. Blaney hanging in the low lane. Career win number 5. Ryan Blaney does it at Charlotte.
I woke up the next morning thinking, all right, here comes the shit show 600, and I was treated with one of the best Indy 500s I've ever seen. I remember, good God, there was just this one wreck with Scott Dixon where he literally flew like 40 feet in the air, I would think, and he somehow managed to live through it. I had to show y'all a clip of this. It's just unfucking believable.
Okay, which is Jay Howard. We're going to roll this through now. Well, look at Jay. He's already way off the line. He's off the dark patch of the racetrack, which we call the racing line. He's up in the gray. He's lost control of the car. He's hoping he's not going to hit the wall. He impacts the wall, comes off the wall, just misses the 10 of Tony Kanaan. Unfortunately, Scott Dixon is right there, up and over the front of the car. Car hits on the top of the wall. The safety cell on these cars, guys, I can't tell you how strong they are. An awful accident, but as we saw, Scott Dixon right there, hands away from the steering wheel. We saw him get out, and when we first went to this frame, when we first saw this accident, you heard some roar from the crowd, and that was because they knew that Scott Dixon was okay, and the 77 of Jay Howard was also okay.
Boy, this is just bad timing on Dixon's part and incredible fortune with the way this car lands on top of the wall.
Or he's incredibly fortunate.
Yeah, that shit was just unbelievable when I first saw it. I mean, those Indy cars, they are just, they're like little go-karts in my opinion, but I mean, they're obviously pretty damn safe, obviously as safe as NASCAR, because he didn't get injured or anything. He walked out perfectly fine. But I remember, I don't remember his first name, it was something Sato or something that won, but he was some guy from Japan, and it was just an exciting finish between him and Castro Neves, and I don't know, one of the best Indy 500s I've seen. But then in that afternoon, of course, we went to the Coke 600, and I mean, I don't know, I'm gonna run through this as fast as I can. It was a good race, but I mean, not the best Coke 600 I've seen. The first and second stage were completely boring, other than, I remember fucking Jeffrey Earnhardt ended up I think something happened to his engine or something, and there was oil all over the track, and Chase Elliott locked up his brakes, and fucking Keselowski just went right into the back of him. You saw probably on my intro that he just fucking slammed into him.
Now the wreck's already happened. Oh no,
gosh.
something happened to Chase Elliott.
He may have blown up. There was huge fire underneath the hood of that car.
I think the oil may have come from the 24, or certainly we know that there was fire and fluid underneath the 24.
Wow, I'm not sure what happened. Look at all the fire. Look under here.
Oh, man.
That thing grenaded.
Boy.
Unbelievable.
Brad Keselowski will tell you nowhere to go.
So Kyle Busch ends up winning the first stage, and then I think it was the first of the second stage, a fucking rain delay comes out, and it was about an hour. I think it was 9:30 my time when it came out, and they were racing maybe 10:30, 10:45, I think. Truex and Johnson, they were up there the whole time in the second stage once they finally restarted. Danica ended up hitting the wall. Ty Dillon and Casey Kane got into it. Kevin Harvick ended up spinning. I remember that. And Kyle Larson blew a fucking tire. Of all the races, he's been doing so fucking well, but no, he ended up blowing a tire. And it's probably going to hurt his points a little bit more because Truex has been leading the points the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but, this past couple weeks, I guess. Remember, Denny Hamlin ended up winning stage 3. Yeah, there was 4 stages for this Coke 600. That confused the fuck out of me. But yeah, Hamlin won the third stage. And then at the end of the race, it was mostly just strategy at this point because they ran a lot of just green flag. They had to do green flag pit stops, and Jimmy Johnson was out front most of the time, but he ended up running out of fuel at the last 2 laps, and by God, who was in second? None other than fucking Austin Dillon, and this is the one time I was ever fucking cheering for him.
Austin Dillon, 6/10 back of Johnson.
Johnson is in no man's land now. They said he had 5 laps short, and he's still going.
How do you make it 5 laps?
And here comes Truex and Kyle Busch chasing the lead. 2 to go.
He's out.
Austin Dillon, the new leader, as Jimmy Johnson is out of gas.
Green's going to make it.
Richard Childress's grandson trying to return the 3 to NASCAR victory lane.
There you go. Way to go.
The white flag wave, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Tell you what, if he can just make it, in turn 3 and 4, he can post.
Now Kyle Busch just went to the outside of 78 to take over second place. If he runs out of fuel, he'll be the winner.
That 3's got it made. He's down on the bottom, coming around turns 3 and 4.
But he's got to get there on fumes. Austin Dillon wins in Charlotte for Richard Childress Racing, Dow and Chevrolet.
So yes, the walking meme himself, Austin Dillon, gets his first win of the Monster Energy Cup Series, and Kyle Busch got second, Truex got third. But the bigger meme of the whole fucking race was Kyle Busch, yeah, he got second, but he was fucking complaining and whining, and his interview was just, everybody fucking made fun of it. All the drivers, everybody saw it and was just like, you're a little bitch, Kyle Busch.
And were you surprised that Austin could stretch it on fuel? And then, what's it mean, do you think, for Austin to get his first one?
I'm not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
Hey, Kyle, Fresh Racing here. Are you surprised about all the NASCAR fans thinking you're a little crybaby bitch?
I'm not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kyle. Go fuck yourself. See, this is what I was talking about in the last video. While a lot of people don't like Kyle Busch, and he has to be the one to go in all of the other series, the Truck Series and the Xfinity, and fucking ruin it. And he has no fucking fans. But enough about Kyle Busch. Let's get into Dover. We had a shitload of cautions. I guess the first 2 stages. There was Ryan Truex ended up winning the first stage. There were so many cautions and people, blowing tires, hitting the wall. it was constant. You know, that's what you expect at Dover. I guess you could say everybody wears their tires out too fast, especially in the truck series. And yeah, but there was a pretty big crash at the end of the second stage. I believe I have a clip of that real quick.
Bell runs in to the spinning clear.
This looked like Nemechek just got loose there on the restart when he gassed it up.
We just had so many, you know, trucks that were just, it seems like they weren't fit for the track. And I'm going to say the same shit about the Xfinity race. But anyway, Ben Rhodes ended up starting the third stage, but he had to fucking pit, 36 to go. He was doing so fucking well. And I was like, come on, Ben, you got it. Just pit and get it over with, win the race. But nope, he ended up finishing fourth because Sauter won it. And Sauter was, I think he had shittier tires, but he ended up winning the race, and it was okay. I wish Ben could have got his first win. But the Xfinity race was about the same. Kyle Larson ended up getting the pole. All of the RCR cars were just fucking terrible. They, like, the first stage, they all got, at least all of them got taken out, I think, like Brendan Gaughan, all them. As well as the Joe Gibbs guys like Suarez and Matt Tiff, they blew tires, you know, the first and second stage. Kyle Larson ended up winning the first stage, but it was a really, really close call with him and Ryan Blaney. I mean, look how close the shit was. This was the first stage that I actually saw where that, you know, there was actually really close finish.
Looks like it worked, Joey.
He's going to get to him. He's going to try to free him up here and make it happen, which he might.
Kyle Larson led every lap of the opening stage. The last one, yeah, he hangs on.
I saw Larson there win the first stage, barely, and I remember Eric Jones during the second stage ended up having a fucking engine failure, another Joe Gibbs problem. So RCR and Joe Gibbs, they were basically done in this race. Bubba Wallace ends up taking the lead. This is another race that he showed, you know, where he can fucking win a race. And he ended up winning the second stage. But it was another boring finish for the Xfinity race when the Cup guys take over. And Kyle Larson ended up winning, and Ryan Blaney got second, and Daniel Suarez got third.
A dominating day for Kyle Larson. Started on pole. Is going to lead 137 laps. 8th win of his career. Going to be his first in Dover. Kyle Larson does it.
So the final race of the weekend was the Drive for Autism 400, or should I say Autism 400. Kyle Busch ended up getting the pole, and remember last week he was fucking, you know, being a little whiny bitch, and yeah, he ends up getting the pole, and a couple laps later, a caution came out, and he got the shittiest pit stop, you know, I've ever seen, because they weren't able to get all of the, I guess the gun, the gun that takes the bolts out of the tires was in reverse instead of, you know, to tighten it up. And the fucking tire just comes rolling right off of his car.
Sometimes those Jackman, they go off the left front. Watch, he has his eyes on the left front. Little bit of an issue getting the left rear on. No lug nuts on that left rear. Drop the jack. Never even looked back.
Looked like a possible hand injury to the left rear tire carrier.
A lot of damage to the car riding around this racetrack without a left rear tire.
How unfortunate. But once again, we had a shitload of loose race cars. Stenhouse ended up hitting the wall twice, and during, I think, the second caution or whatever, there was just a bad fucking restart. I don't know. Kurt just got loose. Kurt Busch just got loose, and I don't know. It just, I'll let you see for yourself.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Man!
Hold brake. And hard in the wall, Keselowski.
We talked about how hard that is to make that pass on the bottom like that on cold tires. That was just unfortunate.
Well,
so the first two stages were okay. I mean, there's a little bit of racing out front. I remember Kyle Busch ends up blowing a tire and ends up slamming into the wall after, you know, getting damaged. But he ended up rallying his way back to the top 10, you know, towards the end of the race. Truex won both stage 1 and stage 2. you had a shitload of people just spinning out or blowing tires or just it's Dover. What do you expect? Everybody wears the fuck out of their tires. You know, the key is to save your fucking tires on this track. But you had Danica, Logano, Landon Castle, Chris Buescher, Paul Menard, Regan Smith, Dave Dragon. Everybody was slamming in the wall. You know, I remember Ryan Blaney and Kenseth both run into each other on pit road, but somehow they managed their way back up to the front. By the third stage, you know, Jimmy Johnson was up there, and everybody expects Jimmy Johnson to do good at Dover, which he is. He's one of the best drivers at Dover. I hate to admit it, but it ended up being one of just the most bullshit finishes. They went into overtime after it was like 4 to go, and somebody just, I think it was the 43, you know, Regan Smith, the replacement for Almirola. He ended up hitting the wall, and yeah, fucking Jimmy Johnson won on the overtime, and it was just bullshit because Larson was doing good, Truex was up there, just I don't know. I don't think Jimmy really deserved it, but he ended up fucking winning.
Not get the start that he wanted. He's going to have to work hard to get the outside of Jimmy Johnson here. Oh,
McMurray 3 wide.
Wow, he's sideways. Oh,
no!
Big
The
crash, back straight away.
Crashed.
That'll be it.
Big wreck going into 3. I mean, look at them. They're wrecking everywhere.
I think they made it to the overtime line.
Now NASCAR will have to look at video to determine whether the leader was at the overtime line or not before the caution.
So many good cars. They were having great days here, all wadded up in the third turn.
You saw Todd Dillon there get loose and, you know, take out a shitload of cars, and Jimmy Johnson made it past the overtime line or whatever the fuck it's called and ended up winning because of that. You know, once again, a shitty finish to all the fans that paid good money to see a good finish. But enough of that. That wasn't even the part that pissed me off. Once I saw Jimmy Johnson, you know, make it to victory lane or whatever, he takes off his helmet.
Growing up, his hero was Cale Yarborough. He loved the Hardee's 28 paint scheme. He even went to a Hardee's one time hoping to see the car in person. He started the day wearing a special helmet with Cale on it. Jimmy, not very often an athlete grows up trying to chase his childhood hero. Today, you matched Hall of Famer Cale Yarborough.
That was the first time that he had that 83rd win, you know, Cale Yarborough helmet. How the fuck did they know that to give it to him at Dover? I don't know. I guess because he's so good or whatever at Dover. I don't know. That's just it made me think that the race was like somewhat rigged, you know, for him to get that win. But at the same time, like I said, he's a fucking good race car driver. They could have just gave it to him at that time because they expected him to do really, really good and get a win or whatever. But enough about that shit. This video has been going on long enough. I'm glad that you guys stuck around this long. We'll see you guys hopefully next week. I think I will. Next week is Pocono, one of my favorite races. So, yeah, that's it for this video. I'm glad you guys watched, and yeah, cheers.
I say come, see you at the hotel. Fucking nigga.